if your money, your one source of income, or maybe even your two sources of income, if they were to completely stop right now, this second, would the money that you have in your bank account last you for the next 6 months?
Hold up. Hold up.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Angel, and welcome back to my channel, Imperfect Angel, where we're young, Christian, and lit, period. As you guys can see, I got me a new little setup or whatever. The last one just wasn't giving what it was supposed to give, so I had to switch it up a little bit. I wanted like the office type of feel, so I feel like this is good. I still wanted it to be like minimal. I didn't want a lot going on in the background. I like this little setup. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this. Did y'all like this one better, or did y'all like the other one better with just like the little things in the background or whatever? I didn't like that. I wasn't feeling that, so I switched it up. But welcome back to my subscribers and people who've been in my channel, and welcome to the new viewers or people who just happen to stumble across my channel who haven't been here before. So today I actually wanted to talk to you guys about the importance of having multiple streams of income. I think I mentioned it in my last video, so I kind of wanted to elaborate on it today because I don't really feel like people understand the actual importance and how detrimental it is, because it's like, if the pandemic didn't teach us anything last year, it should have taught us that having one source of income is not enough. It's so risky, it's so dangerous. Like, no job is guaranteed. Like, I'm thankful. I thank God that I was able to keep my job during the pandemic, but a lot of people weren't as, fortunate as me and maybe some other people who were able to keep their job during this pandemic. And I feel like we really should take heed to, that. And I took heed to it for sure. Like, even though I did have my job still, like, it really opened my eyes to see, like, whoa, like, I could have lost my job and I could have lost everything. I could have lost my car, my apartment. I mean, like, everything. It's just, my life would have went into shambles. And I made sure that I expressed my gratitude to God for me being able to keep my job. But it really put that fire under my butt that I needed to, like, hey, this job isn't guaranteed, pandemic or not. Like, if these people decide they don't want you no more, that's just what it is. And you're going to have to figure it out. So I don't feel like a lot of us, including myself, really realize how close to poverty we actually are with only having one source of income. Because if something happens to that source of income, what are we gonna do? Like, be sitting around looking stupid? I'm not the type of person, like, I know there's like government assistance and stuff like that, but I'm not the type of person to rely on the government in that type of way anyways, because I do have a government job, but to rely on the government in that type of way. So I ain't with none of that. But yeah, I really, this pandemic, and I've actually seen a lot of people, make some pretty boss moves as far as like starting their own businesses and stuff like that during this pandemic. So I really feel like the pandemic was something bad, but it kind of turned out for our good. A lot of people's good, like these stimulus checks and all these extra things that the government is actually doing for people, actually has given a lot of people, a kind of a boost, or like an opportunity to kind of do something a little bit more, if that makes sense. I feel like, because all the money that I'm hearing that these people are getting per child and and all this stuff, and even just the stimulus checks themselves, like, I really want people to understand that they should use that money wisely, like, invest that money. Like, for me, I have now, I have like 4 or 5 different streams of income. The average, just a fun fact, the average millionaire has at least 7 streams of income, minimum. And I know everyone doesn't want to be a millionaire or whatever, but that's just a fun fact to know. And I'm pretty close, your girl's going to be a millionaire one day. Probably next year, I'm claiming it. But yeah, I really, it's really important, honestly, like, all jokes aside, it's very important to have multiple streams of income, because it just gives you that confidence and that cushion. Like, if you have more than, and I'm not saying you have to go and get 7 streams of income. I'm not saying you have to get 4 or 5 streams of income. Just having something coming in other than just that one. I recommend 3 to 4 minimum, just to have that comfort of knowing that if something were to happen to this one, okay, I still have this, and you'll be able to save more. I looked up some statistics. I got my little iPad right here, and I looked up some stats or whatever. I got my little bullet points because I'm trying to be more organized with these videos. And I didn't know this, but 69% of adult Americans have less than $1,000 in their savings account, if any. Like, what? Almost 70% of Americans have less than $1,000 in their savings account. That is crazy. That is scary. That's unbelievable. $1,000? Like, whoa. That should really put into perspective, like, what's going on? Like what are we really doing with our money, you know, to not have $1,000 in there? And I'm not saying like I've always been a very responsible person. Like, I'm still working on, you know, being able to manage my money and being responsible with my money, because at one point in time I didn't have that in my savings account, like, until I've actually grown over the past couple of years to learn the importance of actually saving and, you know, investing my money, multiplying my money. I was in that 69%, but now, thank God, I'm not in that 69%. So that kind of puts into perspective, like, hey, these 9 to 5, not saying anything is wrong with a 9 to 5, but just having one stream of income is not the move. It's not the wave. It's not the way to go. And what I would really recommend is, because it's hard, we only have 24 hours in a day, right? So having a 9 to 5, that's going to take up, 8 hours, probably like 8 to 10. People work 12-hour shifts, 14-hour shifts just to try to make ends meet or whatever. So I wouldn't really recommend getting multiple 9 to 5s or multiple jobs. What I would really recommend to people is to have sources of income that don't necessarily require your physical work and your time. Like, it's time to stop exchanging your time for money and have your money work for you. Like, and when I say work for you, I mean like residual income. For those of you who may not know what residual income is when you do the work once and you make money off of it forever. So just like your favorite artist, let's just say like Drake. We'll say Drake. How he put out Started From the Bottom. He did the work for that song one time, but he's going to continuously get paid for it for the rest of his life, or for at least for how long we listen to it. Every time somebody streams that song, he's going to get paid for it. Even though if I play it right now, he's going to get paid for it, and he isn't doing any more work for that song specifically. That's just an example, so that you can actually have, you know, make money in your sleep. That is the way to go. I wouldn't say have your job and have a part-time job working at McDonald's and have another job at a car wash and all that stuff where you have to actually physically be there, because no, like, ain't nobody got time for that. People actually have lives. People have children, families, and stuff like that. So I always, whenever I'm talking to like my friends and stuff like that, I always try to put them on to having, you know, residual income and money that works for them, investments that work for them, things you can do like from your phone. Maybe like I trade in the foreign exchange market. I can trade right now from my phone. It doesn't take much of anything. I mean, it takes a little time, but it's like it takes literally a minute to put in a trade, and I'm making money right from my phone. So it's just like, you just have to find what really works for you, and kind of go from there. You kind of play around with it, do your research and things of that sort. But however, whatever it is, I recommend everyone to get multiple sources of income, because hey, it's a cold world out here, and that pandemic was scary. As far as like, I feel like it was more scary, other than like, I mean, I don't want to say it like that, like the sickness itself, like the disease or the virus itself, whatever it was. Coronavirus. It was a virus. I feel like the whole, like, people just like losing their jobs and stuff like that, that was more scary than the actual virus itself to me. Like, I don't want to be insensitive because I know people, you know, lost relatives and stuff like that. But it was just overall a scary situation. But we need to, you know, kind of use that as a boost and a perspective to show, like, these jobs, they for everybody or nobody. Like, it's just crazy. So yeah, that's my little TED talk on multiple sources of income. People always asking me, how do I manage it? So I'll probably make another video on how I manage all of my streams of income and my different businesses and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that. And I just want to leave you guys with 3 questions to just ask yourself to kind of put into perspective. The first one is, has any of the money that you have in your bank account right now ever made you more money? That's number 1. Number 2 is, if your money, your one source of income, or maybe even your 2 sources of income, if they were to completely stop right now, this second, would the money that you have in your bank account last you for the next 6 months? Yes or no? And the last one is, are you genuinely happy with the money that you see in your bank account right now? So I want you guys to ask yourselves those 3 questions. And if you answer no to any of those questions, that should tell you right there that you need to make a change. But thank you so much for tuning in to this video. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and share with your mommy, auntie, and cousins. We're on the road to, 500 subscribers. So let's get there, and I'll see you guys next Sunday. Bye.